What's going on, guys? Michael from MMA Island. We're here with Zach. We're here with the fight picks, and we got a very, very good one in Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Junior Dos Santos. JDS taking on Rozenstruik here. Man, Biggie Boy coming back after the big knockout against Francis Ngannou. Not in his favor, of course. Just a very interesting matchup to talk about here, but I will pass it on to Zach to start this one off.
First of all, this fight is really, really tough for me to call because I love both of these fighters. They're both really fun to watch. JDS, one of the most wholesome people in MMA, and Rozenstruik for all the violence that he puts in the cage. Now, if we look at the heavyweight division, who's the most powerful striker? Obviously, it's Francis Ngannou. Second place, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I think you can put him there after watching the knockouts. He ripped Overeem's face off. And before that stoppage is not a bad stoppage. I will die on that MMA hill, but
I don't mean to cut you off there, but that stoppage, when people try to tell me that that's a bad stoppage, remember the Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero stoppage? Alistair Overeem fell down on his butt the same way Luke Rockhold did, and Yoel Romero popped him and shut the lights out. That's exactly how that fight would have ended. Sorry to stop you there, but I totally agree with you. Not a bad stoppage at all.
Yes. And one of the things that I've been kind of known to do is look past a lot of recency bias. And one of the recency bias things is that Rozenstruik's chin is shot. No, it's actually not. You fight Ngannou, right? And you're going to get knocked out. That's what happens. It's Francis Ngannou. But then you look at his past fights. He took Alistair Overeem's best punches and he ate them. And it's not like Alistair Overeem's a slouch either. He's one of the more powerful heavyweights in the division. He's just not Ngannou. Ngannou's levels above everyone else. Now, if we're talking about someone whose chin is shot, yeah, absolutely, JDS. You have to say JDS, because if you look at all the wars he's been in the past, he's been in the UFC for the past, 7 years? He's gone through some of the bloodiest battles in UFC heavyweight history. This dude has taken a lot of punches. And if you're talking about the guy with the power of Rozenstruik, it's just going to be a first-round knockout. But a lot of people are also sleeping on the technical striking ability of Jairzinho Rozenstruik. You guys forget, he is an amazing kickboxer. 76 wins, 8 losses. That you cannot sleep on that record. Absolutely, you cannot. But if you go with technical striking, you have to give it to Rozenstruik. But if you talk about technical boxing, you have to give it to JDS. JDS's hands are a lot crisper than Rozenstruik's, but I think Rozenstruik mixes his strikes together a little bit better. Now, if JDS wants to win this fight, he has to take it to the ground, I believe. He has to throw in one takedown or something, because you have to give that fear of the takedown inside of Rozenstruik in order to make him a little bit more timid. Bad part about that is JDS hasn't landed a takedown since 2014, and I think he's not going to go in there and do that. Also, another thing, just in JDS's favor this time, have you seen him lately? Have you seen him? Dude is, I assume you saw this on his doorstep. This guy is jacked as all hell. But at the end of the day, I still have to say that Jairzinho Rozenstruik is going to win. Everything tells me that JDS's chin is too short in order to take Rozenstruik's punches. So, yeah, I'm going Rozenstruik.
All right. Well, we do have a disagreement on this one. Not crazily confident here. Just, man, I feel like the factors that you weigh between these two. If I'm sitting there and I'm watching this fight and Rozenstruik comes up and it has that very, very evident sort of form that he has, and is able to knock out JDS in the first 30 seconds, I'll go, hey, what could you expect? Dos Santos, as you mentioned, has been prone to knockouts. He's coming off 2 straight knockout losses. And Rozenstruik, as we know, 9 TKO wins out of 10 wins. So, and that's the other thing, man, talking about Ngannou, man, if you're, I'm happy I haven't heard people saying about Rozenstruik's chin, because if someone tried to say that to me, I would be like, are you absolutely insane? Because Ngannou, I posted this on my MMA.highlights Instagram page, and I put in the caption, I said, the second it went through Ngannou's brain that he should throw 4 open arm strikes in a row, the fight was over. Like, if Ngannou is going to try to throw 4 straight open arm throws on you, man. And we saw how it ended, and it ended pretty well what we would have expected if Ngannou told us that's what his plan was. to go back into talking to Rosenstruck, and what I was mentioning about the whole factors thing. The factors thing is, if you're weighing the factors that they win the fight, Rosenstruck, his factors that lean towards him that are going to happen is he'll knock out Ngannou in the first round, JDS in the first round, the second round. That's what people are saying. That's what people are saying is going to happen. Rosenstruck's going to knock him out. Then you talk about factors for Junior Dos Santos. You mentioned the way he can win the fight is to take him down. I personally don't think he's going to take him down. I'm sure you don't either.
Yeah,
And I think if he tried to take him down, I'd probably give the advantage to JDS there, just because of his kind of who he's fought in the UFC. This dude has fought like names upon names upon names. And man, with the thing about Rosenstruck, my problem with Rosenstruck that's always been, it's crazy to think he comes from a kickboxing background, because this dude doesn't have head movement. And it's crazy to think that, because he walks like this. My biggest problem with Rosenstruck, and I really do like Rosenstruck, I can't take him here just because of those factors. When it comes to how Junior Dos Santos can win the fight, he could knock him out. We saw him knock out Derek Lewis. And obviously Derek Lewis has been knocked out before, but he's got such a striking advantage. Not necessarily talking about the chin comparison. I'm talking about the striking, like, scariness, I would say, is how I will word it. We saw Derek Lewis obviously have the knockout victory, and he's the most knockouts in UFC heavyweight history. And JDS was able to kind of take action against him, and he was able to knock him out in the second round. I don't see him knocking out Jairzinho Rozenstruik, but the thing is the factors, as I mentioned multiple times, he could take him to the ground, win the round, kind of just piece his way throughout the other rounds, and he could win the fight by decision easily. If you're going to try and tell me that JDS can't knock out Rozenstruik, you're insane, because obviously we saw Rozenstruik get knocked out by Ngannou. That's Ngannou, I know. But no one is prone to not getting knocked out, especially in the heavyweight division. We saw Derek Lewis get knocked out by JDS. JDS is, I think people are kind of saying that he's just done. But if you take away Ngannou and Blades, he's on a 3-fight win streak. And the fight before that he lost, it was to Stipe Miocic, who currently is the UFC heavyweight champion. We will get to that fight as well. But there's just so many things. There's so many ways that JDS can win in comparison to Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik has to knock him out in the first or second round, and I really think that's his only chance. After that, we saw the Alistair Overeem fight. I know Overeem kind of controlled him on the ground for the most part. That was also a 5-round fight. So the thing is that we've seen Rozenstruik not be able to get knockouts against guys who people are saying are kind of prone to knockouts, because I would say Alistair Overeem's chin is more shot than Junior Dos Santos' chin is more shot. And to say that Rozenstruik can't knock out JDS, I think you're kind of crazy. So it's a really tough thing to call. If you're talking about, and you said that Rozenstruik has more technical striking than JDS, and I'm like, wait, what?
I think he has better hands. He has better hands, but overall, with the kicking game included, I have to give it to Rozenstruik.
I don't know. I disagree. I think JDS has more diversity in his striking. I think he's going to be able to piece up combinations a little bit more. The combination he put against Derek Lewis, and just throughout his career, he's been able to do it amazingly. And that's the thing, man. So like I mentioned, the only reason this isn't really a high confidence pick is because of Rozenstruik's knockout ability. If he's able to go in there in the first round and knock him out in the first round, bam, it's like, how can you not expect that? Rozenstruik is a knockout artist. Junior Dos Santos has been knocked out before, last 2 fights even. It's tough to say, man. But I'm going to have to go with JDS just because of those factors. I kind of find myself, when I do pick the knockout artist to win the fight and it goes past the first round, I'm kind of sitting back in my chair going, maybe I shouldn't have picked him to win. And I don't want to be there with this fight. We want to know what you guys think, though, because I got JDS. He's got Rozenstruik. Maybe not our last disagreement of the night. Who knows? But I'm going with JDS. He's going with Rozenstruik. We need your guys' feedback to break the tie. Make sure you guys are letting us know in the comments and kind of just letting us know the feedback.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead. Anything.
Just this came to the top of my head here. And looking back at JDS's last 2 knockout losses, they were both immediate reactions to very bad strikes, overcommitting strikes from JDS. You look back at the Francis Ngannou fight, the reason that he got knocked out is because he overcommitted on the right overhand.
Turned his back.
And
Yep.
he turned his back to Francis Ngannou. That's death. That is literally death. And against Curtis Blades, he got timed by Curtis Blades because he wouldn't stop throwing a lead uppercut. In these last couple of fights, JDS has been shown he wants to dispatch of his opponents quickly. That's what I'm seeing with him throwing these power shots, these very ill-advised power shots. He wants to knock out his opponents early. But if you have that defense, and Curtis Blades, I'd say, does not have as good striking defense as Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and there's a debate to be had there. But anyways, if Curtis Blades can time you for a bad strike, for an inopportune strike, which JDS has thrown in his last 2 fights, then Rozenstruik absolutely can. Anyway, that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, no, and you make a great point there. Definitely something I should have brought up is the Ngannou fight. Obviously, it's Ngannou, but first of all, when you're fighting a guy with that sort of KO strength, which I think you could put Rozenstruik on that board as well. You mentioned he's second to Ngannou.
Yeah.
I'd have to go through the division, of course, but man, the thing is with JDS, when you're fighting a guy with that KO power and you turn your back, that's scary. That's what I was talking about with the whole factories thing. It's just talking about that JDS, man. If you have to put the percentage wise of what you think could happen, you have to put it very high that Rozenstruik wins by knockout. But at the same point in time, it's like you never know. He could, like, JDS could technically strike his way to a decision. So I'm curious to know what you guys have to say. Just even listening to Zach kind of bring his opinions on these last few fight picks, it's cool to see that different aspect and kind of get that different mindset. So I want to know what you guys think. Be respectful in the comments, please. We're getting too many haters lately, so show your love in the comments. Show your love with the likes, subscribing to the channel, and checking out the other fight pick videos. We got a main event coming up next, if I'm not mistaken.
No, co-main.
We got Sugar Sean O'Malley. What am I saying? Check out Sugar Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera. Very excited for that fight. Just check out the other fight pick videos, guys. We're really, really excited for this card. Check out the other ones.